Last time on the Personal Growth Podcast, Dwayne and Eric sat around and talked about dreams and comedy and other such things of that nature. This week, coming to you live in front of no studio audience from the Tri-Point Studios, we're here with Brett Haney and Ty Zan, tie-dye enthusiasts, dreadlock haver, and tiny little person, here on the Personal Growth Podcast.
Which one's the tie-dye enthusiast?
The one wearing the tie-dye shirt with the cat with the reggae hat that says positive vibes, which is fantastic.
Positive vibes. Obviously, that was a joke. I want to just clarify for our audience that Ty is the little bitty person.
Yes.
And Brett Haney is
7'2".
Yes. For real, though, how tall are you, Brett?
6'5".
Yeah. So he's super tall, and he makes Ty look like an even smaller person than I do.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm small, too, so it's fine.
It's hard for you to make people look small because you're tiny yourself.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Average.
Hey, remember that time whenever Gavin was talking about the Pokemon thing? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't even know who Gavin is.
He was the guy who was saying, like, you're like the small version of Brett.
Oh, right.
You're like the Dreadzar, and he's like the whatever.
I remember.
I don't even remember.
But what was your point of your question? I missed it.
Just the name was.
Oh, I don't remember.
Dreadzar was one of them, and then like the next version of that would have been like you. Are you familiar with Pokemon stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
So what would be the next step of a Dreadzar?
A toked out some Tokemar. I don't know. Eric's been watching a lot of Pokemon lately. Save me here.
I have been watching a lot of Pokemon. Well, my son has been watching Pokemon, and as a
luckily
result,
for him, his son likes it too.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even like. I missed the Pokemon boom, like because I was a little too old when it first came around, and I was like, this is for kids. I'm not fucking paying attention to this. And now, 20 years later, I have a child who not only plays Pokemon Go, but actually watches the Pokemon thing. So I've been trying to pay attention to it with him so that we can talk about it. And, I ask him questions like, why are they doing this? And who's this guy? And he tells me, and he's very knowledgeable on most things Pokemon. So
what do you got?
So what would be the evolution?
I was in the middle of looking it up, and then you guys all started talking to me.
No. Dreadzar's not a real thing.
Yeah, that's something we made up.
Oh, well then what the fuck am I pulling up? You know what?
I'm just asking, like, for Pokemon lingo,
Brett would be the evolution.
Right.
So if you're the original Pokemon,
Dreadzar,
Brett would be the evolution of that. So the bigger, tougher version.
And what are we calling it?
If you're Dreadzar, then you'd be Dreadlockosaur.
See?
We'll do that. We'll say that. I don't know.
Dreadalornius.
Dreadalornius. There it is. I like that one better. Dreadalornius.
That is way better. Dreadzar and Dreadalornius.
We had to step into it a little.
Thank you.
It took a second.
We got there. It did take a second, but we're all here now.
So, welcome to the Personal Growth Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of stuff and try to relate it to our own individual personal growth. So how about we start off with a little background information on either one or the both of you. Who are you and where are you from? What are you all about, Brett Haney?
So I'm Brett Haney, 28. Moved to the Nampa area around 5th grade, so I've been in the Valley since then. But now as a grown-up person, I'm going to school full-time, and then I work and then do stand-up in my free time. Well, in ice hockey.
Okay. Stand-up, ice hockey, school. Which one of those things do you think is going to benefit you the most in the long run?
School.
Hockey.
And what are you going to school for?
Horticulture, so plants and stuff like that. Yeah.
Getting ready for whenever it gets legalized in Idaho.
Mm-hmm, that too.
Nice. All right. And Ty, if we can turn it your direction, a little bit about yourself, if you feel like it.
Okay. I'm 26. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I moved around a lot growing up, and I think I've been in the Boise area on and off for about 12 maybe consecutive years, give or take. I was born in Arizona, and I lived in California, Oregon, Washington, Iowa, and Wisconsin. But I've never left the United States, so I'm not that rounded.
Huh.
Well,
Where in Arizona were you born?
I was born in Tucson.
I was thinking Tempe. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, so that's why.
Oh, nice.
shit.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Nice.
They high-fived.
Yeah, totally high
For
five.
the viewers.
That was a high five
There was a
moment.
high five in here.
Audience. Damn it.
And you're in school as well, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm also in school full-time. I'm not working, though, because I might die. But I'm going in for nursing, but it's more like health science right now because I haven't been accepted into the nursing program yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
In the interest of not exposing too much, we're going to just skate over the I might die portion of that sentence, unless you want to talk about it. I mean, it's...
Do you mean
That's
by
up to you.
having to do too much, or do you mean you literally might die?
Well, okay.
We're all
So
all dying, right?
this is all about self stuff, right? This podcast.
Personal growth.
So like within this last year, not really because it's 2020 now, but 2019 in January, I was diagnosed with MS.
Oh, okay.
And I've had like a lot of really crappy symptoms, and then the medications that they have me on, it makes it really, really hard to function. So, I mean, school takes a lot of my time and concentration to get good grades to hopefully get a job that can give me health insurance in the future.
Okay. So, of the two of you, it would appear that you're the more interesting one.
Yes. Ty is definitely the more interesting
That's not
one.
true.
All right. Well, let's focus on the two of you for a second, because you are a couple,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
right? How long have you guys been together? Where did you meet? How did all that happen?
I think this year in April will be 4 years,
Wow.
and we met at a karaoke bar.
Ooh,
Terry's.
Which one? Yes, I love Terry's.
Yeah.
That was my favorite karaoke
It's
bar.
a great karaoke bar.
Yeah.
We haven't been there since all the construction. They moved the road around a little bit over there, but
Oh yeah, always doing construction.
Yeah.
It's Idaho's personal growth.
Yeah.
But all right, so I think this is the first time on the show that we've had an actual couple.
mhm.
People who are in a relationship with each other at the same time on the thing. So can we talk a little bit about some of the 4 years is in these times probably a little bit longer than most people kind of stick together.
Yeah.
What are some of the, if you could give us say 5 things that have helped the two of you stay a cohesive unit over the last few years? For some of our listeners who may be struggling with relationships or things
Go ahead,
like
Ty.
that.
Okay.
Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, that's a wonderful question. It's been a great big learning curve. I think communication is the hardest thing for like two people to really get correct. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of frustration. Like we've fought a whole bunch, especially when we tried to have talks over like alcohol and stuff. So like number one would just be trying your best to fine tune communication and get to like a healthy, even ground to discuss harder topics.
Excellent.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm terrible at communication, so
Well, then it's a good thing you're on this podcast.
yeah. So yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Mhm.
You said over alcohol? When you said that, do you mean while drinking or about it?
While drinking,
Okay,
while intoxicating. Like trying to... I feel like there's a misconception that drinking kind of loosens, your, I don't know, inner conscious and makes it like easier to talk about things, but it definitely doesn't.
I would have to agree with that.
Okay, so Ty gave us 1. Brett, what would you say is number 2? And these don't have to be in any particular order of
For sure.
importance or whatever. But.
I don't know, like knowing your other person's gonna be that trust is a huge concern. Not concern. That makes it sound bad. Is a huge issue. issue. Trust is a big deal. It's a big deal, and I think in a relationship. So it's nice to have someone that you know that you can lean on if you're not doing the best.
Okay.
Like not having fear of being vulnerable with your partner.
Yeah, and just knowing that it's always easier to get through stuff knowing you have somebody there, kind of. So
Right.
I don't know. One thing I think that really brought Ty and I together is like right when we started dating, my dog passed away. And I was really open, then she saw me at my lowest low. Like I was in tears, and there's a huge, huge part of me that was gone. So that kind of brought us closer as well. So just knowing that I can trust her and knowing that she'll be there for me, even as some people would say as silly as a passed away pet or something.
That's not silly. I mean, pets become a part of your family.
Yeah. For sure. Some people,
15, however long they live.
Well, it was just different for Ty because, like, some people are very fur baby. It's my pet. It's my creature. From my understanding in Ty's life, dogs weren't really like they were dogs. They're your pet, but it's a dog.
Right.
So me, I raised this Saint Bernard puppy since he was a little thing. He was my pal. Kind of was this whole thing. So yeah, I guess not even trust. Trust would be a different category. It's just the fact of having someone there has been very helpful.
Well, I read something that said a relationship should be a 50-50 give and take between people, but sometimes you have to recognize that maybe somebody in the relationship can only give 20%, and it's up to the other person to give that 80 to help them get out of whatever kind of a And it's nice to. Because, I mean, I've known you guys for a couple of years now, and it seems like you have a great relationship. I mean, I don't know you both very well, but from what I see, out and about when we're all in the same place.
I hide my bruises very well.
That's fair.
So.
I mean, it's the little ones you got to watch out for.
Wow.
And she seems like a little spitfire. But, no, you guys genuinely seem to have a good thing going between the two of you. You seem like you're very easy with each other, and it's nice to see that kind of a thing.
I also want to just throw out the idea that, like, in my experience, what you project to the world when you're in public is a lot different than what is actually happening behind closed doors. And not to say that's good or bad,
right?
But to see what we see being projected by you two in public, it would seem from the outside looking in that it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you guys have a hard time being around each other. And I mean, again, that's just perception. I don't know behind the scenes, but you seem like you've got it figured out for the most part.
How comfortable are you guys talking about behind the scenes stuff?
I don't know. It depends, I guess, on what type of behind the scenes stuff.
Are you two what you see is what you get, and it's going to be the same no matter where I'm at kind of people, or are you like? Does that make sense? Is that question
like
weird,
no, it does make sense. Like, are we gonna, if we have a dispute or something, are we gonna handle it right now, or are we gonna wait until we get home? Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we probably handle most stuff at home.
We do, but it's not. I would say it's very similar to what you'd be looking at right now, watching us talk.
Yeah,
it would.
I don't know.
Nothing really different about our personalities per se.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to think of like examples because we actually just made a look back of our previous year and we had no like major fights or squabbles.
That's awesome.
Like, I mean, everybody has their huge fights, and of years past, in the 4 years we've been together, we've definitely, couples have their huge fights.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, this whole last year, it might have been the fact that we were both dominated with school. There was no time to fight. But, so I don't know. We've just kind of figured it out, I guess, and that's another thing that Ty said, the communication. And I just appreciate that she's been patient with me because I'm typically the one in fights I shut down. I get real in my head about it. So,
what's I think is really cool that you just said that you guys just looked over the last year. I think that's something that a lot of people in relationships don't do. Like, and a part of that is twofold. Like, there was nothing that exciting to happen in this last year that we need to look at. But, like, if you're running a business, you need to know what your assets and liabilities are, and you have to look back at those things. Like, these are the things that have been good that have happened. These are the things that have been bad that have happened, and how